Hey there. Hey, I ran into an idea the other night that I've been settling against my breast, and that sounds weird. See what happens when you try to deliberately speak poetically. You just end up sounding profane. Anyway, I've been mulling over it. That's better. And it was a quote. Oh, no, it wasn't a quote. It was a description, a paraphrase of something that Socrates would think. Something Socrates would say. This guy from 7-Eleven, one of the workers there. Socrates described. This person was describing Socrates as having said that the purpose of life was to ask and answer questions. Simple as that. And by gosh, if that didn't, fit really well with my way of thinking. The more I think about this, the more I like it. The purpose of life is to ask and answer questions. Now, Socrates was describing that in terms of the endeavor of finding truth, and he was thinking specifically about how Plato described the Socratic method of proposing something and then asking a question about it to refine the understanding of what is justice, and then say justice is the old quote, return someone's property. Well, then is it justice to return an axe to a murderer? Well, probably not. So you have to refine it. Well, justice is returning property to those who are deserving of it, or whom we deem fit. It gets complicated, but it's a process. So you ask and you answer, and you approach truth that way. Now, why is it that I like that so much? Well, I was thinking of, you guys know, if you follow what I do, I'm very pragmatic. Let's walk through the temple. I like to think I'm practical. I don't like answers that I can't hold in my hand, and I don't like solutions that are more art than illumination. I want my answers to be illuminated by action, by trying to find something. It's like turning a flashlight on. I wish I could do that. Turn a flashlight on in the dark and seeing what's there, rather than painting a picture of what I think is there. Now, so let's take this approach, this idea. The purpose of life is to ask and answer questions. What is the purpose of animal life? Well, animal life, I believe the purpose is to survive and to pass its genes, animal and plant life in general on this planet, is to pass our genes on to the successive generations, to be in the next iteration of the gene pool. And if we find some mutation that has a better expression of that gives us some survival advantage, to have that represented there, so that it would allow our children to succeed. That's the purpose of life. Now, that's heavy words from a guy like me, because you know me. If you don't know me, but I believe that life has no inherent, no, that's not the right word, no apparent meaning. But which is basically hedging my bets, right? But I'm saying no apparent meaning. It may have meaning, but I can't see it. At least not yet. It's not apparent to me what the meaning is. But so, no meaning, but maybe a purpose. Hope I'm not tangling things up too much. Bear with me as I meander through these streets. We're going past a graveyard now. Graveyard. Wow. Well, there's somebody there too. Oh my gosh. So good. See what I'm saying? I have to say sorry. He's actually at the graves. What is he doing? Walking around. It's kind of spooky to look over the graveyard wall and see somebody in there that wasn't actually praying, but kind of just like moving slowly through, just like me. Maybe they're thinking about something. Anyway, God, it's scary. Can I see the person in there now? See, there's the grave. Oh, one of the person's attending to the grave. I was wrong. Oh gosh, I feel bad. Okay, let's get back on track, man. Okay. What the heck was that? It's turned into a freaky evening. Stuff in the trees. Okay. So my proposition then, coming way over the other side, is life has no apparent meaning. I'm not saying it doesn't have any meaning. I just can't see what it is yet. Maybe I never, and I don't think I ever will. Well, maybe I shouldn't say I don't think. I expect I never will. But it may have some purpose. It does have some purpose. Life's purpose is to survive. But now what about human beings? Do we have a specific purpose? Do animals themselves have a specific purpose? And I think that you can say that we do. Let's look at a couple of cases. Let's take, for example, the case of a cheetah. Fastest animal running out, fastest animal on land. What is going on? There's things in the trees making noises and people in the graveyards. It's a spooky evening just after Halloween. Okay, a cheetah's purpose then, as illustrated by the expression of its genes, is to run fast, run down prey, so that it can run down prey and feed itself and feed its young and have children and move those same genes into the next generation so its children can do the same. That's the purpose of a cheetah. The cheetah as life, its purpose is to survive. As a cheetah, its purpose is to run fast and catch prey. How about another animal, not quite like a cheetah? How about a sea urchin? Spiny things that live in the ocean that Japanese like to eat, kind of expensive with sushi. Uni they're called here. A sea urchin's job, sitting down there all spiny, and they do move around a little bit, but their job is to be spiny. Its job, if you ever touched one, I used to dive and I used to sometimes step on them and stuff, you get those pricks on you, and you don't want to do that. Their job is basically to kind of feast on the stuff on the rocks there under the sea and be all prickly and spiny so that nobody will eat them. That's their purpose in life. How about an elephant? An elephant's purpose would be to be large and imposing in order to deter predators, and perhaps there's other advantages of being large. Maybe they can store a lot of body fat, maybe have control something about the metabolism, perhaps. Maybe it gives it some survival advantage, the same advantage that many dinosaurs found. You see where I'm going with this? The purpose of life is to survive, but the purpose of each organism, let's take a vine, for example. Let's go to a plant. A vine's purpose, without having a woody stalk, a vine's purpose is to grow and to weave and to find its way around nooks and stuff and spiral up trunks and take advantage of every possible life niche that it can find. See what I'm saying? I hate the way I say that, but see where I'm going? That's better. How about us? Well, we can't run like a cheetah. We don't have spines like an urchin. We're not big and imposing like an elephant, hardly. We're not insinuating as a vine, although I've known some people. But what are we good at? What is the distinguishing characteristic of our species? That's pretty clear, I think. That's what's going on right up here, right? This big old brain of ours. And there's lots of reasons that have been proposed for why humans have the brains that we do. Some of them being that they give us the ability to communicate. Another is that being brainy and clever is sexy. That if we're like that, we're attractive. Those of us that are the smartest of the group are able to attract more mates, right? Because it's attractive in some way. Another idea is that it basically allows us to outthink the environment, maybe too much sometimes, so that we can stay ahead of ecological changes. Survive the ice ages, be able to go to high ground when floods come, that kind of stuff. All of that is involved. Now we're coming all the way back to the start of this video. All of that entails solving problems. And what is solving problems? Solving problems is asking questions, identifying situations, asking questions, and then answering those, coming up with answers. Hopefully good answers. Well, lo and behold, we have begun with a premise from Socrates and examined it from the perspective of a scientist. I'm not truly a scientist, but I'm schooled in the scientific method, so I utilize that. So we've examined it from the perspective of a critical examination of looking at how the world works and how that proposal fits in with it. And lo and behold, it seems to yield something I think is beneficial. It seems to be that we have found a tentative purpose for human life. Life, of course, its purpose is to survive. Human life, the human life, purpose is to ask and answer questions, to solve problems, and to utilize our brains for the betterment of ourselves and our prodigy. I almost said progeny. It's a different thing. I think that works. I like that. I'd like to hear your thoughts too. It's getting dark. Time to sign off. But I know that the little light between your skull will continue moving and shining and illuminating the way, the challenges, the questions, and possibly providing some of the answers that you need. I'll be doing the same to the best of my capability. And in that so being, we will be fulfilling our purposes as human beings. Just one idea. Take care. Now, as for the meaning of life, still, verdict's way out on that one for me, at least. Take care, friends.